me?
Yeah.
Hey, 7 o'clock, so we'll start. As we've done in the past, before we actually get into the meeting, we've had our legislative delegation, members of the legislative delegation, share some thoughts with us. And I know that so far we have Allison Clarkson who's with us. And Allison, would you like to unmute yourself? Hopefully you can unmute yourself and we don't need to have the host do it. And would you like to take a few minutes to address those of us here? We also have people that are physically present in the town garage. So you'd be talking to those of us on Zoom and whoever's in the town garage. So it's yours.
Well, thank you. Good evening, everybody. Thank you for inviting me. We've been in Chester and West Windsor, and it's great to zip over to Mount Holly. And I have to say that's one of the silver linings to this horrific year is that Zoom has enabled us to actually be present in many more places during these town informational meetings than we could ever be driving. So thank you very much. I'm Allison Clarkson. I'm one of your 3 state senators. Dick McCormick is planning on coming at some point. He is attending some other meetings in between, additionally. So he will join you at some point, I hope. I serve you in the legislature as the vice chair of Senate Economic Development on Senate Government Operations and as the majority leader of the Senate. An honor. I was elected to that position this fall and am enjoying myself. Actually, it's been a very different role but one I'm enjoying a great deal. As you know, town meeting is the time where we're roughly halfway through our legislative year. That may change considerably given the package that we're hearing about from the federal government. And if that comes and we get close to $1 billion, my guess is our session will be extended because appropriating that money will take us quite a bit of time, as it did last time. But town meeting is the time where we have to finish up the bills we want to hope to get enacted into law this year. They have to move from one body to the other. So we're in the process of finishing up our Senate bills to get to the House, and vice versa. The House is working on all its bills to get to the Senate. We have to do that by March 12th. All the money bills begin in the House and come to the Senate, and the Senate is working on a whole host of other bills. So this is a good time to sort of take stock and see where we are. We have been very focused in a very tripartisan way on building back better together. And that is, COVID response and relief is still our top priority, and it will continue to be until this pandemic is over. But in building back better together, we're doing sort of 3 main things. We're extending right now COVID measures put in place last spring that are ending, so that protections so that we can continue to protect Vermonters, and that things like unemployment insurance COVID eligibility for unemployment insurance and workers' compensation won't end, and they're slated to end. And so we've had to do that kind of work on a whole bunch of fronts. We've also had to extend the opportunity for telemedicine, which we had created a new opportunity for that through COVID. The second thing is we're incorporating lessons learned into legislation, like mail-out ballots, or again, expanding and incorporating telemedicine into our work. Building on our land records. Each town had the opportunity to apply to digitize more of their land records. And this kind of work we are incorporating into our legislation. And then additionally, we're working to leverage these precious federal dollars into lasting improvements in our Vermont life, like building affordable housing or building out our high-speed internet. And that bill is starting in the House and coming to the Senate. Those are sort of the big picture pieces of what we're doing. I'll just give you some broad strokes because, as you know, we deal with everything from transportation to healthcare to mental health to education. I mean, there's so much that all the committees are working on. And I encourage you to watch them as you're able. And if you're interested, everything is accessible to watch on YouTube and Brac through our legislative website. And anyway, it's pretty interesting. And you can text me in real time and ask a question that you might want to have asked, or you can email me afterwards and follow up. But our legislature has never been so accessible as it is now. But we're working on everything from the huge unfunded pension liability situation we face of $4.5 billion. There are some wonderful webinars on that are on the Joint Fiscal Office website if you're interested in that. This is a critically important issue for us to solve for our teachers and our state employees. The Vermont State Colleges continue to be a work. We're looking at having to financially keep them afloat for a while until they kick into action their sustainability plan, which they're working hard on. We're expanding broadband. As you know, state aid to school construction we're looking at hasn't been looked at for years since the recession. Unemployment insurance. The Tax Structure Commission is coming back to us with a whole host of recommendations on how to restructure our tax scene. And we're working on big issues like racial equality and access to childcare. So the work is big and it's ongoing, and we appreciate you being in touch. We also would love to have you engage as much as you're able, because it's never been easier to engage with the legislature at this moment. Thank you. Is that short enough?
That's great, Allison. Thank you for joining us. I'm sure we all appreciate your being here. We appreciate your work too.
Oh.
Thank you.
And yours.
Is there another state legislator that may have joined us? One of our other two senators or possibly Logan? If not, if we're aware that they're joining us as we proceed, without objection, we'll let them address us for a few minutes at that point. What I need to do is I need to share a couple of things in terms of how we're doing this and some ground rules. I think we're all hoping this is not the first annual hybrid Zoom meeting, and this will be a one-off, and next year we'll be able to be face-to-face. As it is a hybrid Zoom meeting. We have probably, what do we have now? We've got 47 people that are on Zoom. Mark, can you give us an idea how many people you have in the garage that are attending physically?
Got about 20 people. Andrew, did you hear me? Andrew, you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, we got about 20 people in the garage, okay. 22 people.
Okay, I'm sure we'll have more joining physically and more joining by Zoom.
Yep.
Let me give you some opening remarks about how we're doing this, please. It's by Zoom as well as a physical presence in the town garage. And if you're participating in the town garage, there's a microphone in the front with a camera trained on it. And if you move to the microphone, I should be able to see you. If I'm not able to see you because it's not trained on you, would you please get Mark's attention, and then Mark will bring it to my attention, and you need to be recognized. And if you're in the town garage and you're logging in on some sort of a device, such as a laptop or whatever else, I don't know how often this would happen, but please mute yourself and turn the volume all the way down unless you're using headphones. Otherwise, that could result in feedback. If you're participating by Zoom, there's several things to keep in mind. The chat function, we wanted to have it disabled. I'm not sure if there was a technicality that we were not able to disable it, but we really don't want to use the chat function. The reason for that is because we have people physically attending in the town garage, and we don't want them to be excluded in any way by not having access to the chat function. So it may be down there. We're probably not going to be monitoring it. We'd appreciate it if you did not use it. Everyone should be muted upon joining, and if you want to speak, you can use the raise hand function on Zoom. That would be either in the reactions tab at the bottom of the screen, or it might be at the bottom of your participant tab or pop-up. And if you use that, then we'd be able to know you have a hand up, which I see we have one already. And the other thing would be, if you don't know how to use that or you're having a problem with it, feel free to basically raise your hand, wave your hand in front of the camera. Fra Divine is monitoring this. He's assisting so that we're able to make sure that people are not inadvertently left out. We want everyone to have a chance to participate in this, whether physically or by Zoom. So using the raise hand functions clearly would be the best. But again, Fra will be going from screen to screen if we get enough people, and I'm sure we will, but he'll have to look and see if there's somebody that needs some assistance. If you're participating by phone, *9 functions as a raised hand on the phone number, and *6 is muting and unmuting. Also, apparently, if you, news to me, if you use your space bar at the bottom and hold it down, that will unmute you as well. If you do have something to say and you're unmuted to say it, please be sure to mute yourself when you're done so we're not getting extraneous noise into the town meeting. Wait until you're recognized, please, before speaking, and state your name for the minutes. Address all comments to me, to the moderator, and please be respectful and civil. If there is something that is confusing and that you're not sure how to proceed, please ask. Vermont state law prohibits consideration of articles that have not been warned. Binding action cannot be taken under other business. So we can move ahead now with the town meeting, beginning the town meeting. Friday, do you have something to say? I see a hand up. I guess not. Yes.
Anyone who might be raising their hand, please also turn on the video, otherwise they won't be able to see you. Thank you.
I think we.
I want to acknowledge and recognize the fact that we have on, well, we do it, I know we do it, as our 3 select board members, Mark Turco, Jennifer Matthews, and Jeff Chase. Also in attendance, I'm sure, is David Johnson and Sue Cavallo. Now, we'll move into the warning. And the legal voters of the town of Mount Holly, Vermont are hereby notified and warned to meet at the Mount Holly Town Garage at 7 p.m. in the evening, Monday, March 1st, 2021, to act on the following articles, 2 and 14. On Tuesday, March 2nd, 2021, to vote by Australian ballot at the Mount Holly Town Office. Polls will be open from 10 a.m. to 7 p.m., and you will be voting on the following articles: 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and 13. Those are by Australian ballot. Article 1. By the way, have we had any other legislators join us?
How do you
Hearing none, seeing none, raised hands, we'll move ahead.
Andy, we have a hand raised.
Yes, we do.
Paul. Paul?
I may have missed something, but I believe this should start with the Pledge of Allegiance.
That's a good point. We wanted to select people who are in the town garage. Would you care to lead us with the Pledge of Allegiance?
Absolutely. Everybody please stand.
Thank you, Paul.
I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Paul, thank you for bringing that.
Article 1 is Australian ballot to elect all town officers as the law directs. Again, past practice has been that when we would have a contested seat, the people would stand up and say a few words if they'd like to. To the best of my knowledge, we don't have any contested elections. Therefore, without objection, unless somebody would like to speak, we will move on to Article 2. moving on to Article 2. That is to act on the town officer's report. If I can mention a clarification on this, please. Acting on the town officer's report is the town report you have in your hands and the reports of all the town officials within that report. It is not approving, and it is not an action to approve what is contained in the report. Anything dealing with the material within the report would be dealt with in the following articles. So all we're doing is accepting the fact that the town officer's report has been provided to you. What I'd like to have would be a motion to accept this, and then a second, and then I would hope we could accept this by unanimous consent and then move ahead. Do we have a motion to accept this?
We have a hand up, Andy, Dennis.
This is Dennis Devereaux. I move that we accept the report.
Thank you, Dennis. Do we have a second, please?
Paul, you want to stand up?
Paul Barton, I second.
Thank you, Paul. Unless there's any discussion, unless there's an objection, I would like to move that this be adopted or say that this be adopted by unanimous consent. Is there any objection? Hearing none, Article 2 is accepted by unanimous consent. Article 3. This is Australian ballot. Does the town vote the following budget for fiscal year 2021-2022 to be raised by tax? General fund, net, $456,890. The highway fund, net, $367,450. The total of A and B by Australian ballot, $824,340. Is there any discussion on this? Would anyone like to speak to this? Hearing nothing, we'll move on to Article 3. I'm sorry, Article 4. Does the town vote $65,000 for the Asset Equipment Fund for fiscal year 2021-2022 to be raised by tax, Australian ballot? Is there any discussion on this? Would anyone like to speak to this? Hearing nothing, we will move on to Article 5. Does the town vote to the Mount Holly Volunteer Fire Department Incorporated an operating budget of $53,500 for the 2021-2022 fiscal year and vehicle replacement fund of $45,000 for a total of $98,500 to be raised by tax, by Australian ballot? Would anyone like to speak to this? Okay, hearing nothing, then we'll move on to the next article. Article 6. Does the town vote to the Mount Holly Volunteer Rescue Squad Incorporated for the 2021-2022 fiscal year budget to be raised by tax by Australian ballot? General budget fund, $15,000. Vehicle and equipment maintenance fund, $15,000. Total of A and B by Australian ballot, $30,000. Is there any discussion? Would anyone like to speak to that? Nope. Article 7. Does the town vote $12,000 for the Mount Holly town? Yes? I'm sorry, does someone want to speak to that? Okay, Article 7. Does the town vote $12,000 for the Mount Holly Town Library to be raised by tax, Australian ballot? Would anyone like to speak to that? No. Hearing no one, then we'll move to Article 8.
I have my hand up.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Joe Galbraith, Director of the Library.
Hi, as Andy said, I'm the director of the library, and I just wanted to take this opportunity to thank the township and all the citizens for your continued support, especially during such trying times. We had actually a very good year at the library, given all of the closures and all of the reductions in services. We checked out almost 1,000 books to citizens of Mount Holly, print books, and almost 100 ebooks during this time. So
This guy's had a stroke before.
I'd also like to take an opportunity to give a big thank you to Jeff Chase, who spearheaded installing a Wi-Fi hotspot outside the library. We are now broadcasting a Wi-Fi signal all over the village proper of Belmont, all the way down to the general store, across the town green, over to the museum, and 400 feet in all directions, up, down, north, south, east, and west. So I'd like to thank Jeff for taking the lead on that and helping us get that done. And again, I thank you for your support, and I look forward to your continued support and your continued use of the library. Thank you.
Thank you, Joe. Thank you. I see that Senator Vic McCormick has joined us. Without objection, we'll allow Senator McCormick up to 5 minutes to share some thoughts with us.
Thank you. First of all, thank you all for letting me join your meeting. I respect that town meetings are about town business, and but I do feel I should make myself available, so having been asked. Obviously, the big issue before us is still COVID, and the light is at the end of the tunnel, but we're not there yet. I'll be getting my first vaccination on Friday. One problem is that the main thing the legislature does, what we call the big bill, is the budget. And it's not just about money, it's about what we're spending the money on. So everything is embraced by the budget. Usually what we do is Vermont operates on a fiscal year, July 1 to July 1. So ordinarily we would now, at the end of fiscal year, or the last part of fiscal year 21, we would be preparing the FY 22 budget to go into effect on July 1st, and we'd be preparing it in its entirety. So we'd be thinking all the way ahead to July 1st, 2022. And of course, we do something every January called the Budget Adjustment Act, because you're always budgeting based on assumptions about the future, and those assumptions invariably need to be corrected. There's no shame in that. It's not like people will say, why do you need an adjustment act? Like, why didn't you get it right the first time? None of us can see the future. All we can do is project reasonably. So we make, what we usually do is pass a one-year fiscal year budget, and then in the middle of it, make adjustments. With COVID, there's just too much in the air, too much undecided to do that. We don't have confidence in our projections. So last year, for example, we passed a little budget on July 1st, and then a second budget in the middle of this fiscal year. We are now similarly passing a separate budget on things that need to be funded quickly, that we need to take care of. That's the little budget, of people calling it the skinny budget. And then we will proceed as we know more. I've been to a couple of town meetings. I understand that Senator Clarkson has been here already and gave my greetings, and I appreciate that. I've been asked often, what can the town expect? What is the state going to have for the towns? And the answer is, we don't know what the feds are going to have for us. It looks good, and we've actually had quite a bit of, and of course, how that affects people is completely random. Some people have just been wiped out. Others have done okay. A lot of people are telling me they can't believe how much they've saved on buying wine to bring home instead of wine by the glass in restaurants, and just cooking at home. But we are not in a chaotic position. I think we've had a reasonably we've been reasonably in control, given the nature of the situation. I want to say, and I'm a Democrat, that our governor, Governor Scott, has done, in my view, wonderful leadership, as has Health Commissioner Levine, and I'm proud of my caucus that we knew enough to support him, even if on occasion he made a decision that I would not have made if I were in his position. Probably squabbling at the high levels would have been a worse problem than any mistake the governor may have made. And so I guess that's probably about 5 minutes.
Great, thank you. Thank you, Dick.
Thank you.
Appreciate your being with us.
Thank you for having me.
I'm assuming, do we have either Logan or Alice joining us yet? If not, we'll keep an eye out, and when they join us without objection, we'll ask them to share some thoughts with us.
And I have another town meeting to get to, so.
Great, thank you, Dick.
Thank you.
Thanks for being here.
Okay.
Article 8. Does the town vote $2,000 for the Mount Holly Chit Chat to be raised by Pat? Australian ballot. Does anyone wish to speak to this?
Yes, we have one, Andrew.
I see somebody coming to the line.
Hello. The Chit Chat published monthly.
I'm sorry, and you are Diana Garrow.
Exactly.
Okay, thank you.
The Chit Chat published monthly has been Mount Holly's source of hometown news and information since March of 1974. Building on a tradition established by Lucille Priest, Gladys Hudak, Betty Merlin, and Miles Richards, and many others. The Chit Chat Board voted to seek an annual appropriation from town in support of publication, which helps to defray the rising costs of postage, printing, and other expenses associated with the production of the Chit Chat, as well as the continued distribution to all of you. The appropriation request on the town meeting ballot is $2,000. We continue to work hard to keep a close watch on the amount of issues left over each month, as well as keeping within the 24 pages as much as possible. We are setting aside a $500 per year to a fund for reserve equipment repair and replace fund, which we established in 2014 of the 40th year anniversary advertising funds. September of 2020, officers and directors were elected as follows: Dennis Devereaux, President; David Venter, Vice President; Terry Isidro, Secretary; Diana Garrow, Editor and Treasurer, with directors Heather Garrow, Christine Pratt, and Kevin Plew. The Chit Chat Board voted to incorporate the Mount Holly Newsflash as an extension of the Mount Holly Chit Chat to bring it under the umbrella of the Chit Chat, as it provides a valuable email system for the town news in conjunction with the Chit Chat. Our community is defined by the committed involvement of countless residents. Month after month, the Chit Chat shines a light on that citizen participation and illuminates the elements of our daily lives so that we can be informed and up to date on all things local. Thank you to all who have provided all kinds of fodder for the paper, as well as all monetary support to keep our paper going 12 months a year for 47 years, this being our anniversary month. That is a very big achievement that not many towns can boast. Also, special thanks to Don Reiser of Express Copy for printing the Chit Chat, and my daughter Heather Garrow with friend Jeff Keller, as well as my husband Roger for helping with the labels, sorting, and count each month. And thanks again to all of you for your continued support.
Thank you, Diana.
Thank you. Is there any other comment, any more discussion?
You're all set?
Hearing none, then we will move to Article 9. Does the town vote the following for community and social services totaling $9,235 to be raised by tax? An Australian ballot vote. American Red Cross, $500. Mount Holly Barn Preservation Association, $100. BROC Community Action in Southwestern Vermont, $550. Rutland Mental Health Services, $1,302. VNA and Hospice of Southwest Region, $1,313. RSVP and the Volunteer Center, $100. Southwestern Vermont Council on Aging, $400. Regional Ambulance Service Incorporated, $620. Vermont Adult Learning, $500. Black River Good Neighbor Services Incorporated, $1,000. Vermont Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired, $150. Housing Trust of Rutland County, $500. Marble Valley Regional Transit District, $300. Vermont Center for Independent Living, $100. Green Up Vermont, $150. Child First Advocacy Center, $400. Neighbor Works, $500. Okemo Valley TV, $750. Does anyone want to speak to anything on this list? Seeing nothing, hearing nothing, then we will move on to Article 10. Does the town vote $3,000 for the Black River Area Community Coalition, Brac, to be raised by tax? Australian ballot. Does anyone wish to speak to this?
Yes, I'd like to.
And you are?
Paul Fienza.
Thank you.
Hi, everyone. Good evening. I'm the Executive Director of the Black River Area Community Coalition, Brac. I would first like to thank all of you for your support over the years. Our coalition was formed in 2003, and we continue to serve our towns of Mount Holly, Ludlow, and Plymouth. Our mission is to take a proactive approach to preventing youth substance abuse and violence by promoting a healthy, involved community, supporting all youth in safe environments. Our community is encouraged to get involved in promoting healthy living to benefit all youth and provide them with the tools to become responsible community members. Underage drinking, use of marijuana among our youth, and the misuse of prescription drugs are still our main priorities. During the past year, COVID has made sharing our prevention message a little more challenging. Although we are not in our schools in person, we continue to share information with parents via our monthly newsletter and continue to utilize all social media platforms. We are a member of the Green Peak Alliance, a collaboration of several prevention coalitions in the state. Our coalition has 2 part-time employees and countless volunteers. Our next meeting is Wednesday, March 24th via Zoom. And we're hoping that come the fall, we'll be back in our schools sending out our message. We thank you for your continued support and ask you to please vote yes tomorrow on Article 10. Thank you.
Thank you, Paul. Does anyone else wish to speak to Article 10?
We have no one, Andy.
Hearing nothing, we'll move to Article 11. Does the town vote to fund the after-school program at the Mount Holly School in the amount of $6,500 in fiscal year 2022 to maintain state grant funding in the amount of $23,890 to be raised by tax? Australian ballot. Julie, would you like to speak to this?
I would, thank you. I'm Julie Gorai. I'm the site coordinator for the after-school program. And I want to thank you so much for your past support of the Mount Holly after-school program. The after-school program is funded in part by the town of Mount Holly, a 21st century grant, and parent fees. As a licensed program, Vermont state subsidy is also available to families. During 2020, we needed to adapt our program to address the social, emotional, and safety concerns brought about by COVID-19. During the spring school closure, we provided students with virtual story times, as well as virtual social hours with student and staff-led activities. These programs enable students to stay connected and interact with peers under the guidance of after-school educators and staff. This fall, we have returned to in-person after-school programming during the 4 in-person school days from 3 to 4:30. We adjusted the program to meet safety concerns and guidelines by providing an almost exclusively outdoor experience for the students. Activities have included fort building, using the nature classroom and trails, bike riding, sledding, snowshoeing, fort building, as well as other sports and activities that allow students to maintain social distancing while still building friendships, collaborating on personal and shared goals, and just having fun being together again. Since September, we've been serving 25 students, with most attending all 4 days. As always, we will continue to adapt and introduce programs to best serve our students and families. In addition, the district-wide TRSU after-school program provided TRSU students with a COVID-safe summer camp and has also provided a remote learning site each Wednesday and also during the holiday season remote learning period this year. The after-school program provides vital service for Mount Holly's families, providing quality after-school care for the town children. Again, I'd like to express how appreciative we are for your support of this program. Our goal is to offer high-quality social, emotional, educational, and recreational opportunities for the students while providing the necessary support to the young Mount Holly families. Please vote yes on Article 11, and thank you.
Thank you, Julie.
Thank you.
Is there anyone else who would like to speak to Article 11?
None here.
Seeing nothing and hearing nothing, we'll then move on to Article 12. Does the town vote $2,500 for the Mount Holly Community Historical Museum to be raised by tax? Is there anyone who would like to speak to this?
We have one, Andy.
Hearing no one, seeing no one.
Andy, this is Dennis Devereaux.
Oh,
I was
right,
going to
Dennis,
speak
thank
just
you.
for a second. I
Sure.
thought maybe Paul Nevin might be on Zoom or something and say something, but this is the second year, I think, of asking for the $2,500 that for an organization that holds our town's history. And it turned out to be a lot more important $2,500 than I ever anticipated, because last year we couldn't do any fundraisers. We did our newsletter and donations, but we were unable to have our fundraisers and stuff at all, just like every other organization pretty much. But we certainly appreciated it and look forward to the support of the community to keep it coming. Thank you.
Thank you, Dennis. Does anyone else want to speak to Article 12?
No.
Hearing no one, we'll move to Article 13. Does the town vote to exempt Colfax Lodge number 21, Independent Order of Odd Fellows, from town tax and be responsible for the school portion of taxes to be paid to the state of Vermont for a period of 5 years? That's Australian ballot. Is there anyone who would like to speak to this article?
We have one.
Again, Andy, this is Dennis Devereaux.
Thank you, Dennis.
So we've certainly appreciate the support we get from the community to keep this 5-year tax exemption. The amount of tax that it would cost would be a little over $1,000, and with the number of taxpayers, our treasurer said it's less than $1 a year. We certainly make this building available to a lot of groups. Some have been using it in the last year, especially for social distancing meetings. The Bone Builders for a while, and the museum and the Gill Home trustees, I know, have been meeting there. But we also make it available, and usually it's at no cost or minimal cost, to the Community Association's Spring Fling, the fire department's Christmas party, and we also, our building is one of those designated disaster buildings in town, along with, I think, our school gymnasium probably. So we do keep the building available for that. So I'm hoping that the town will continue to give us this exemption. Thank you.
Thank you, Dennis. Is there anyone else who would like to speak to Article 13?
No.
On to Article 14, which is to transact all other necessary and proper business. Is there anything that anyone would like to bring to the floor under Article 14?
Andy, I have one thing that I'd like to bring up.
Yes.
At this point in time, I'd like to congratulate Sue on the decision of her retirement, and I want to thank her for the continuous 38 years of service that she has done for the town of Mount Holly as the town clerk. From 1983 to 2021, I would like everybody to give Sue a great applause for her dedication to the town.
I guess we could go to the reactions and throw up a hand clap, right?
Absolutely. We have another one that would like to stand up and speak. Andrew?
Yes.
Paul Martin, I would just like to say to Sue that you have been the face and the smile of this town for the last 38 years. You really are the personality of this town, and everybody in this town has felt your caring and devoted service, as well as your love and enthusiasm. And you are so very thanked by all of us, and we wish you wouldn't do what you're doing, that you would stay there forever and ever. Thank you very, very, very much.
Thank you.
Kelly Tarble, I believe you have a hand up.
Thank you. Also, thank you to Sue as well. I'm wondering if there's anybody, I've heard that people want write-in votes is for certain things. Are those people there to speak to that so that we can hear a little bit more?
I had hoped that that would be part of the fact that we didn't have any contested elections, but if someone wanted to speak, and I would have hoped that if somebody was looking for write-in votes, they would have taken an opportunity to do that. Without objection at this point, if anyone would like to speak to write-in votes for a particular position, they're welcome to do so. Anyone? Oh, I don't see anyone. The other thing, have we had any other members before we would look for a motion to adjourn? Are there any other members of our state delegation, Senate representative? I know we've heard from Allison Clarkson and Dick McCormick. I want to make sure that we don't have somebody that joined us late and is at the on another screen that I don't see. Well, if we have no other necessary and proper business to transact, what I would do is ask for a motion to adjourn. Anyone out there? Yes. Oh, you're muted, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'll make a motion to adjourn. Dave Bennett.
Okay, and a second?
I second.
Okay, and we have a couple hands up, I'm sorry.
Oh,
Second. I didn't catch
Yes,
it.
Kelly, did you still have your hand up? No, okay, I'm sorry. Okay, so we have a motion and a second to adjourn, and hearing no one speaking against that, I think we can consider that we met that with unanimous consent. And I would certainly like to thank everybody for having this hybrid meeting. Again, hopefully this is a standalone, and I appreciate everyone in the town, the select board who's worked very hard to make sure, to try to make certain that nobody has been left out and didn't have a chance to participate. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Andy.
Hey, Andy, who seconded the adjournment?
Mark.
Oh,
I think Mark did.
okay.
Mark did? I think Mark Nolan.
Mark, you're on the record as having seconded the adjournment.
Thank you.
Okay. thanks, everybody. So I guess whoever the host is would see us out. That would be Okemo Valley Television, Patrick.
Thank you.
And thank you for.
There's a lot of people on. That's crazy.